Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing this morning? Who is joining us this lovely sunny Saturday? Hopefully my internet connection's good. Morning, Nat. Morning, Helen. Morning, Gary. How's the sunny balcony this morning? I'm very excited to share this with you this morning. This has helped me tremendously in my life go from a place of pain and suffering to a place of kind of being more open and accepting to what the plan is in store for my life. Does my camera keep flashing in and out? Like the light keeps going in and out. Morning, Jane and Karen and Jane, two Janes. Oh, loads more people have joined. Hey, Jenny, Celia, morning. Hi, Becky. Hi, Sharon. It's so sunny. I think it's going to be a scorcher today, which is so exciting. Some pure garden time. Just hopefully Jack won't get too burnt in the sunshine. I see Donna as well. Morning. Yeah, I thought the light kept getting darker and brighter. I'm hoping it's settled now. I think it's because of all the sunlight peering in. But yeah, there's not much. I don't really want to shut that out, so it's too good to miss. So I just want to talk to you briefly about almost the gift in surrendering. And I know there's a massive global shift coming at the moment, and it's requiring us to surrender. It's requiring us to stop what we're doing and take stock and to really see and focus what's actually happening in our lives and what needs to stay and what needs to go. And I hope some of you are having those conversations with yourselves about what you feel is good in life and what you feel you would like to change, because this, believe me, this is the perfect opportunity to do this. And if you can take stock and at least have, I don't know, I mean, I constantly have these conversations with myself every day about what I really want to get certain and what the changes that I really want to make in my life, for my family and for you guys and for my business and well, everything really. So I think the truth behind surrendering is it involves one emotion really in my mind, and that is trust. And it's trusting in the process. It's trusting in the fact that the universe has got your back, and trusting in that no matter how painful things are and how far you and how it feels frustrating in the moment, and just to know that there is a bigger picture. But of course, when you're feeling that frustration, you can't always see the bigger picture. You're only experiencing the emotions that are coming up in that moment. And believe me when I tell you, I have been through my fair share of frustration as well, which is completely understandable based on what's actually happening in the world right now. And it's about how you can move through the process of emotions faster and more efficiently, rather than being kind of stuck in the frustration. And for me, I haven't had any frustration pretty much since the first weekend, since it was announced that that was it, we were going to shift, and I got really annoyed and I worked through that, and then I'm like, okay, right, let's move through and let's think about the positives and think about something different and what needs to shift. And then ever since that pivotal point, I've really been thinking about all the things that I want to then focus on, because at the moment the universe has gone, right, you can't focus on the things that you were focusing on, so you need a different focus. And it's important that in that moment when something happens, that you have enough flexibility in your system and with your energy that you can switch that focus. And I've spoken to a few of you, and lots of people are getting different gifts, which is great. But when you focus on those gifts, just make a comment for me, just so I know how many of you have switched that focus, but not only switched it, focusing on something positive, and then already getting senses of what you want to shift and change as a result of those, as a result of that perception shift. Has anybody like had that and experiencing that and just really working through that, and now having that more positive focus, they're able to really see a different path? Is anyone at that point yet? It just takes a while for the comments to load, so it's not like when you type something instantly, I instantly get it. But just if there is, or if you haven't had that, just say no, I'm really not at that place. I'm interested to see a little bit. Anybody else? No. A little, yeah. Great, there's some yeses, there's some nos, there's some little bits. So, I mean, obviously a great expanse across the whole spectrum. So if you're let's start with, if you haven't had that experience yet, if you're still feeling the frustration of what's happening, or the anxiety or the fear, and it doesn't have to be about coronavirus, it could be about any area in your life that you feel something that's been taken from you, something that the universe has gone, no, you can't have that, or no, you definitely can't go down that path, or a door that's been slammed in your face, or just something where, it's very clear that the world has a very different plan for your life and how you're living it. And how have you fully gone into the frustration of the experience? Have you allowed some of that frustration, that anger, maybe some rage, to really flow through you and actually express that in some way, not to somebody, but to yourself? So they've got some more comments. So sitting with the unknown, feeling on their own. Okay, so understanding the new path, but not really knowing what it is yet. Okay, that's okay. So that's halfway there. So I'm just reading the comments. Great, Jane. So it's really important that you allow, in order to move forwards, you have to start by feeling the frustration, because that's the energy that you need in order to create the transformation that you want to achieve, especially when it comes to a perception shift. So if you're feeling that, I would suggest, and if it's still very present in your body, or if it's still very present, or if you're still feeling those feelings, I suggest you keep feeling those feelings. What I also suggest is that once you've had the experience, is you sit by yourself for some, so take yourself off to one side, feel those feelings, and then sit with it. Because once you experience the energy release from that, that's when you start to get a shift in perception, because you start thinking about things, and your thoughts start coming up with new ways perhaps of looking at things, or there's a stillness there, and that's when you'll start to get that perception shift. So it's important. Don't just, I know some people just go in, they feel the frustration, and then they kind of go straight back into life. But when it comes to wanting a perception shift, you have to give yourself time for the energy to process and work through, so that you can actually arrive there. So it's not just, perception tends to happen very slowly. It's not something that's you're going to just make a release and then instantly that's it, you're going to have that that mind shift. You have to be patient with it, and it's important to honor the energy of what's happening after you've made a release. And sometimes for me, I know my perceptions come really slowly, so I can't just make a release and then within a minute I'm like, right, that's it, onwards and upwards, off we go. Like, it takes maybe 2 hours, sometimes it has done, for me to just sit with it and to just be, and to let my mind take me on that new path. And you have to figure out for yourselves how slow or how quickly that perception shift comes. And when I'm talking about it, you're either going to go, I have no idea what you're talking about, or for me it happens really quickly, or I know for me it happens really slowly. And if you know, then you need to give yourself time in order to let those things manifest. So I'm just going to read some more comments. Helen, definitely. I would say you could definitely go into it a little bit more, just from the work that we've done together. And if you're on your own as well, it's like a perfect opportunity, because there's nobody around, so you can just let it go, however long it needs to come through. Rachel, I get that, and the frustration that you're feeling is massive. So, and you have to go there and just be compelled to really feel it, as painful as it might be. It's so important. And you're not going to do it to other people, but just to be with that experience in yourself. And you've got to do it all the time until you start to make a breakthrough. And for you, the perception is quite slow, let me tell you. So it'll take a little while after you've made a release to get that perception shift. So don't hurry it. And you've got loads of time now, so just use it to your advantage. Yes, I mean, lots of us had a meltdown. So, and that's completely up, because the world just went, nope, that's it, stop, you can't go on, you have to make a change. I completely get if you've had a meltdown, absolutely. Great, Donna, perfect. Yeah, I mean, lots of us are feeling alone, missing friends, missing that face-to-face contact. I mean, some people love being on their own, but I know for lots of people, we love that community, that vibe of others. Nat, I feel you, definitely. And that frustration and suffering. And like, some people might be thinking, oh, I'm not necessarily sure whether I've had that experience, or whether they didn't necessarily feel those emotions, but that, and that's okay. That they might be there in some shape or form, they might not, but really be true and be honest to what actually you have felt or might be feeling, because it'll just allow the process to unfold much quicker. That's Jane, that's where you feel it in your throat, around here, like, definitely. And it kind of links into the back part of your shoulders here. So, it might be going to one of the stretching exercises and just twisting into it and allowing that release. Helen Vidotto, that was for you. I don't think Helen Cook's on, so it's just you. I think I'm getting to the end of the comments. So after you've experienced and allowed that frustration to be liberated, then it's a case of sitting with and letting the energy, create and allow that perception shift to happen. And only when that happens can you start to see a different path and a different avenue. And when you're in the stillness of it, I don't want you to think, I can't have any thoughts, I have to keep my mind quiet and allow my body to do what it needs to do. It's important that your mind, can be as active as you want it to be. So don't think, oh, I have to just be still and quiet and not think about anything. Let your mind think. Let your mind think about whatever's coming up, when you're feeling into your body, when you're feeling into the energy, what comes into your mind, what parts of your life are you thinking most about, and what emotions might be coming up as a result of that thought. And as you start thinking about it, your body might start to want to move, might start to want to open and shift into something new. And as that movement really flows through, you might find that actually that's when maybe a perception shift starts to happen. You might want to really arch your body. You might want to stand up and stretch. So it's a case of just going with the flow of your body, going with the flow of your mind, and then seeing what materializes after and as a result. And only then will it's almost like you'll start to kind of shift things. You'll go into like a 6-7 stage. So you'll start to think, that part of my life I really like, and I really am enjoying that, and I don't want to let that go. So as soon as this all is over, I'm going to go straight back to that because I really miss that. So I mean, a lot of people are like, I really don't want to be on my own. I like friends, and of course, just go back to, you know, making these glowing, budding friendships. And it might be that you need to do more to connect with people in a different way right now. You know, there's plenty of ways to connect online, so it's just get online, do lots of FaceTime, do lots of Skyping with lots of different people that you used to hang out with and used to see, set groups up online, do some like conferences, some, you know, over Skype or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. It's easily done, just to have that connection and just fill your time out with things that you really love. It's not going to be the same, but you know, at least in your mind, that you really like that. For me, I'm enjoying alone time. I do obviously miss everybody, but it's quite nice to have a bit of space. And I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. And obviously I don't get a whole lot of space because I have a little baby, but part of the journey is to just be with what's actually coming up for you in your life right now, and just honoring that and creating ways of manifesting that in what we have available at our disposal right now. So when it comes to this new path, so what I'm doing this afternoon is I'm going to be creating, I think this is really important, I'm going to be creating a guided meditation that I'm going to send everybody via email, so watch out for that this afternoon. And it's what I go through after I've done a release of SRI or a release of some energy, that I then, it's like a process that I take myself through in order to allow new thoughts and new patterns to emerge in my system, and new ways of thinking that liberate energy and create a different space and a different avenue. Not only that, so Gary, you asking this, like, not only that, but it will allow a way of looking at that new avenue, so you know almost what it needs to look like, so your mind can start sorting out what you're going to step into when, you know, we start getting back to normal and things start, you know, flowing again, how your life can be different and what you want to keep, what you want to change. And you'll start to ideas will start to flow, basically. I've just got some more comments, hold on. If you're feeling like really frustrated and in meltdown, I feel you really need to feel that. Like, you need to, I will send you after this the video link, and I suggest that you go through it again with me and do that again, and really allow yourself to be with the frustration. It's so important, and it will, you know, don't avoid it. We all avoid feelings that we don't want to experience, but don't avoid it, because if you avoid it, you're constantly going to be dragged back into that, and that's just going to be the feeling that you have, that you take with you. So it's super important, more than anything right now, to just honor the feelings and don't be afraid of them, and go into them and experience them and allow the energy to be expressed and liberated. And I'll send you the video link. I think I put it up on YouTube, but if not, it's on one of the lives that I did, just to go in there and get some of that energy moving and flowing. And you've got to go in, make some sound, and you're going to feel so much better just after you do that, even if you don't get some of this new shifting and that kind of thing yet, but you'll feel so much better. And it's just a case of really just being with that energy. It's so important. And a lot of us, we just don't want to feel like that, and we resist feeling like that. But the more you resist those feelings, the more you're going to be dragged back into that, and that's going to be the way that life is, and that it's gonna, that emotion is just gonna be almost holding you down. In order to get to the other side of it, you've got to go through it. It's the only way. And just literally like 30 seconds, maybe a minute max of uncomfortableness, and then you're free. It's not much. It's not like, you know, exercising for the next 6 months in order to get a good body. That's a bit more harder. This is really nothing in comparison. Yeah, I'll put the video link on. I don't know if I can get out of this live page. I don't want to cancel everybody and then kind of come back on. So I'll do it afterwards in the comments, but I'll send it straight to you, Wana, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that exercise is so good just for like feeling and experiencing the frustration, Wana. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all had feelings of frustration and anxiety and fear about what's in store for us, and it's that not knowing and letting go of control and just going with the flow. But it's so important to acknowledge those feelings first, and then you can have a different conversation. Exactly, Bridget. I love that comment. What you resist persists. Love it. Very eloquently put. Yeah, I think I mean, this kind of guided meditation, it just helps. I think it just helps the mind think about different things, and it's almost like the maze of how the brain operates. It's like it will help navigate all those millions of voices that you have going on upstairs, so that you can start listening to ones that are going to be more productive for you. So I really hope that that is going to help. It doesn't matter whether you do that on its own as a standalone, or whether you feel compelled to go in, kind of release some frustrated or some stuck energy in your body, and then go into the guided meditation. I don't think it matters. But I would suggest just feel into what needs to happen for you. I think with the meditation, I think it will just guide you into a new way of thinking anyway. So, and it's important, you know, it's only a few minutes long, it's not very long, but I suggest afterwards, you know, just sitting with or being still with the thoughts that you've had, so that you know, if you know that perceptions take a while to shift, or if you don't know you've had very many perception shifts, or you're struggling to create new ways of thinking, the chances are you're a very, very slow perception person. So you need to take a bit more time in order to allow the energy to create something different. So just give yourself some space. I mean, that's all we've got right now. So this is like the perfect opportunity to create different things and to think about what you want to do going forwards. So as we've got so much time, this is like the perfect opportunity to work through these things. So take the gifts the universe has to give you when they're on offer, because the chances are we're all going to go back to normal, or whatever normal is in the future, and just think, well, you know, I wish I did something better with my time, or I did something more productive, because you're never going to get this again. I doubt it. So use it whilst we've got it. And obviously you might have other plans, but you know, I'm doing myself a lot of body work and working with creating new ways and new strategies that I want to really keep going forwards for everybody, for myself, and so forth. So does anybody have any questions? No questions? We've got a few more late arrivals. They've missed all the good stuff, but you can rewatch it. But you haven't missed out. Like, I will send out the email link with the guided meditation, so that you can all do that at some point in your own time, sitting in the sun, or just plugging in your earphones and having a listen. And I really hope that you get a lot from it, and give me some feedback as well once you've done it and had a go, and maybe even what you've felt or what you've noticed as a result of doing it, and just being still with your thoughts and just allowing your mind to flow where it needs to. Because I feel like a lot of people say, you know, you've got to switch your mind off, you have to not think about things, and you need to be still. But I think in order to get a new perception, you need to keep your mind going, and your mind's quite important when it comes to that. So, oh, hi, Sarah. So going forwards, I don't know if people got my last email, but my plan is to reevaluate things on Monday in regards to in training or not. So I assume that we're probably still going to be in lockdown, which is fine. But that will then, I will try and make some decisions about whether I'm going to open up a shift or not to people that really feel that they need some care right now. Because I know a couple of people have reached out and they're feeling like they could really, really, really do with an adjustment. So I will let everybody know. If, depending on whatever I choose, I will email again everybody with if there are online sessions or whether there's going to be a shift open that you can join in, and obviously it'll be completely different, so in order to protect, so it won't obviously be group sessions, but it will be one-on-one, spacing people out as much as possible. So there will be details to come, and I'll be emailing everybody after the announcement's been made on Monday. So I haven't got any more online sessions that you can book onto as of yet. And the next one would be planned for Tuesday if I'm going to do one, or yeah, I haven't figured it out yet, so I can't really be certain on my own plan. So I'm just putting everything on hold just over the Easter weekend with an aim to get my business brain back in gear on Monday and think about what's the best thing to do for everybody going forwards to help support. So keep an ear to the ground for the email, and I will let everybody know, you know, if there is going to be a shift, when it will be, and also if when the online sessions will be, or a mixture, or just if we're just going to go with online still and not bother with doing a shift. If you need me, please reach out. I'm here on email. Nothing better to do other than enjoy the sun, so please email me if you need help, or if you want to book a one-to-one, that's fine, we can do that as well. Or if there's anything else that you have questions on. Otherwise, I will send out the meditation this afternoon, so hopefully you can all enjoy that this evening and let me know your thoughts. I love to everybody, and enjoy this lovely Easter weekend. Have a lovely Easter on your own, or where if you're with people or family, enjoy. Jack's birthday's tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. And I look forward to catching up with everybody Easter Monday and go forwards from there. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on a bit, but I hope it was helpful in some way, and I hope that you really enjoy the meditation later this afternoon. Cool, lots of love to everybody. I'll just see if there are any more questions before I sign off. There's a few more comments just come in. So Donna, with the meditation, I tend to just use it after I've had like a big release, and I need a bit of maybe guiding time, or a time where I need my mind to flow in different areas. So for example, I definitely used it after this whole lockdown thing came out, and I worked through my frustration, and I just needed to create that shift because I didn't want to be stuck in the frustration all the time, because that's not really productive. So, and then I used it after my dad died, and so after like significant life events where I felt the universe, like in my brain I had my own plan, and then the universe came along and went, I'm sorry, that's just not part of your gig. And coming to terms with that, and then putting my focus into a different place. So I've not used it on a regular basis. This is not to say that you can't. So if you feel like I would say that you didn't get a perception shift, I might try it again and see how your body responds. But just see how you feel with it, really. I just have not used it that regularly, so I can't really suggest either way. Helen, you can let me know how you felt. If you're just enjoying the time, you can still do it, absolutely. It doesn't have to be when you're struggling. I suggest, you know, if you aren't clear on how your life is going to be after this after week, because a lot of people don't know, because we're all trying to control and we're like, we just want to know and give me the answers. If you don't have any idea about how life is going to look, and you're struggling with that, I would do the meditation. Like, I have a clear idea in my mind how I want things to look as we start coming back out of this and out the fog. And I have just this knowing about where I want to go. So if you don't have that and you really want to have some insight on that, I suggest to do this. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Karen. Have a lovely weekend. I will give all your birthday wishes to Jack. I will try not to eat too much chocolate, but you know, that's hard. Gary, like, for you, just have a go, and then it might give you some insight about how you want to move things forwards. Oh, hi Sheila. I didn't see you sign on, so it's good to know that you're there. And great. For me, I still get snippets of frustration every now and again. I'm not saying that I just had that, you know, one weekend that was just horrendous, which it was, and I felt like literally the rug had been taken from underneath my feet. And sometimes I go back into when my energy is low. Oh yes, that's really annoying, and I still am not happy about it, and I still go into creating a release and doing a stage 3 and feeling that stuckness and just allowing myself to be with that frustration. If you've been following me the whole time, a lot has shown up in my neck, and I've had a couple of headaches, and I know that that's a pattern of mine when I want to try and control and I just want to hold on, that tends to show up in my body. So the pain one has been great, because I've been using that tool to just really go into the feeling of, you know, where the energy is sitting in my body and where I feel that locking, just to liberate that. And instantly, as soon as I do that, I kind of flip back out, and then off I go again. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. It's so great to share this space with you, and keep an eye out for emails today, and then everyone should get another one on Monday, with regards to what's going to happen over the next few weeks. So lots of love, everybody, and I will see you all soon. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.